Hi, Jesse with etrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at the pop and lock custom tailgate lock. Here's everything that's included in our kit. We'll start with the wiring extension. This is going to help run the wiring from the tailgate all the way up to the front of the vehicle. And our lock actuator, which will actually lock and unlock our tailgate when we hit the button. And these are our extra wiring harnesses for plugging everything in with fuses and a few zip ties to tidy everything up. So as you can see with this Toyota here, right now the tailgate's locked, and from the factory it doesn't come with a way where you can use a remote to unlock it. You would actually have to fish your key out and use it there. So it's really nice. This adds the ability with your factory fob, just unlock the tailgate and you can open it up. And also, especially with a tonneau cover like this, if you have any valuable items in the back, you want to lock everything up. But maybe you're just walking out from the driver's seat. You don't have to walk around here, get your key out to lock it. You just hit on your key fob and that locks it up. Not only will it keep whatever you have in your bed safe and secure, but it will also keep people from stealing your tailgate. All in all, I think this is a great option to add on to any truck. They even sell a kit if your truck doesn't have any power locks at all. It just wires in slightly different, but the install is essentially the same. And as far as that install goes, they make it super simple. You're just adding an actuator under here on top of the existing lock, then running a wire and plugging into the factory wiring harness. So if this isn't something that you're planning on doing yourself, feel free to check out our dealer locator. However, if you do want to get this set up yourself, feel free to follow along and I'll show you how we set up ours. We'll begin our installation on the tailgate here. I have a T30 Torx. We'll need to remove all of these Torx screws. So I'll just work my way down the line. So this piece should just slide out here. We'll set that aside for now. Now with that cover removed, we need to take this 10mm bolt out. Let's pull that out of there. I'll set that aside. We have a new, longer 10mm bolt that we'll install. We have to get this slid in first. You'll see the silver part. That's going to line up with our bolt hole that we just popped out. We'll have to go under this rod here. This piece kind of wraps around like that. We got that lined up. We'll put our longer bolt in. Tighten that down. Since we have this mounted, I figured I'd show you how this is going to work once we get everything installed. You'll just hit the lock button on the fob, that'll lock it. And when you hit the unlock button, a motor will kick in and unlock it. Now we can plug our wiring harness extension in to the plug on that actuator there. Just plug in the male end into the female end. For now, I'll just leave that sitting there. We need to pop these clips out that are on the bottom of the tailgate. Should just be able to get a flathead screwdriver under there and pop them loose. Now with that loose, I'll actually take this clip all the way off. They gave us a new one. Now we can feed our new harness through that same hole. Now we have our new clip here. You'll see it has spots for the original wiring harness and our new wiring. So we'll just kind of clamp that around there. Make sure the wires are in the correct slots. Then it should clip over those. And can feed that in to that hole. Before we can get that clip installed all the way, we'll actually have to come here on the bed and pop this one out. Should just be able to get it out with a flathead screwdriver. You really don't have to worry about breaking it at all, like I said, because we are replacing it. Get that pulled out and unclipped, and then we'll do the same process as we did with the first one. Now we'll have to make sure we feed our plug through the hole before we get our clip in there. Should just be able to slide in next to that original wiring harness. That's how we're going to feed it to the bottom of the truck. Now we'll take our long wiring extension, plug it into that one that we ran through the bed of the truck. Click that in, and what we'll do, we have to feed this up to the driver's seat. So we're just going to follow this wiring harness here all the way up to the front, then run it up through a grommet into the cab of the truck. I've got our wiring ran back. As I said, I just followed this wiring harness for the most part, zip tied to it just to keep everything neat and tidy, and came up, and this wiring harness kind of just follows the frame rail towards the front. Once you get to the fuel tank, it's kind of tricky. You'll kind of have to work it up and around everything there. But we just came out here, and that wiring harness, I zip tied it here, then went over our frame rail, and back here, we'll take a closer look. So once we get to this point, we're over the frame rail. We need to work with this grommet right here. You see our wiring harness is there. So should just be able to get up under that. You'll see carpet, and that's right where our driver's seat is. So what I'll do is I'll take a razor blade and cut a hole in there. I taped off this end of our wires, and we'll poke it through and pull it up through the cab of the truck. And then the rest of the way, it'll be easier to just pull it from the inside of the cab. Now we're here in the driver's seat. Our wires should be poking up somewhere here in the carpet. So we'll have to pop up this kick panel. Just get some fingers underneath it. And it should pop right out. And then work your way down. Now we'll have to get in here, lift up our carpet. Just look for where that wire is. And we'll pull all of our slack out. The wiring harness that we need to get to is behind this panel here. So you'll see a little push pin there. We should be able to get up behind this panel and just pop that out. That should pop out, and then the rest of this should just be held in by clips. There we go. Looks like it just pulls out towards the passenger side of the car. Now we have our fuse holder harness here. You'll see the plug on this end says B and G. We'll actually take that off for now and take the wires that we fed into the cab. B goes to the, blue goes to the B, and green goes to the G. Just push those in until they click, and then we can plug that back in. Now with that plugged in, we can hook up our blue to our blue on our other wiring harness. These should just push in. And then green to green. We'll only be using the green and the blue wires. This kit comes with 3 other colors, but we'll just fold those back and I'll run a piece of electrical tape over them. Now we need to find our 10-pin plug, which on my model here is this top left one. So I'll just go ahead and pop that out for now. Just push the pin in and pull out. Then we'll take our female end on our new wiring harness, plug that into the male, and plug the other end where that factory plug came out of. We got those plugged in, and before I get all of our wires cleaned up, I'll grab the key fob and make sure it works. Now we can grab our factory key fob and just make sure it's working. You'll see when I hit the lock button, it locks. Unlock, unlocks. So I'll unlock it and we'll close the tailgate just to make sure everything is working properly. So if I hit the lock, it won't open. Hit the unlock, and there it is. And that's going to do it for our look at the Pop and Lock custom tailgate lock.